not entirely out of it in terms of getting through to the next phase, but really needs to start getting some more wins on the board soon. Well, first things first, he had a pretty disastrous record with the break in his match earlier this morning against Naoki Oi. He broke 3 times and was dry every time.
This looks a pretty good break to start this match off. One of my favourite players to watch, actually, Aloysius Yapp.
So why is that?
Well, I think it's something to do with the left-handers. I think because I'm right-handed. I don't know, I just like watching the left-handed players. A bit like that at golf as well. I don't know, I don't know if you're similar to that mindset. Or
Absolutely, I completely agree. I think with snooker, people like Judd Trump, Jimmy White, there's just something about them. Phil Mickelson as well in golf, and John McEnroe in tennis back in the day was always so distinctive to watch. So yeah, I know a lot of people actually who feel that way, but nobody can put their finger on quite why.
And also with the left-handers, they just seem, every left-hander to me just seems like they come under that bracket of more natural. You know, you just have to look at the players who play left-handed in this event. You got Yapp, Jason Shaw, Joshua Filler. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah, you won't see a more instinctive player than Jason Shaw, so yeah, that bears out what you're saying. Maybe, as you say, it's just because, as a right-hander, maybe you just like seeing someone doing it the other way around.
Also, Wu Cha-Ching,
yeah,
as well, very easy on the eye. Mirko Fortunsky, left-hander, easy on the eye.
Well, a nice run out here would be just what Yapp needs. He's played 8 matches, only 1 win so far. As I was saying, he's not out of it in terms of getting through to the next phase, but the general feeling seems to be you're going to need at least 5 wins. So if that is the mark, that means he needs to find another 4, and that's from just 7 matches. So to have more wins than losses over that period of time, when you've had the record he's had so far, is a big ask. But all he can do is make a start on it. And that's what he's doing here. Just what he needed. Aloysius Yapp leads Oliver Szolnoki 1-0. We were talking about Jason Shaw in our chat about left-handers there. He's in action next door against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And it's not going great for him so far. 2-0 down. Sanchez Ruiz has played 6 and had 3 wins. Shaw going very nicely. Just the 1 defeat from his 5 so far.
This is not an easy hit, obviously.
Second fault.
So the safety's paid off from Shaw. Can he try and win his first rack? That was the jump shot attempt from Sanchez. Cue ball flying off the table. So he's actually on 2 fouls, but where the balls are situated, probably going to attack the table. If you make 3 consecutive fouls, it's loss of rack in Nineball. Doesn't really happen that often at the high level.
Number 2.
Did it ever happen to you?
In favor of Mr. Yapp. Mr. Szolnoki.
More than likely. And Shaw, with ball in hand, has just missed the 2 ball. Absolutely incredible.
So after we were bigging him up, and we look across, he's 2-0 down, and he's missed a ball like that. Anyway, back here, Szolnoki starts us off in rack 2. And that's okay.
Yeah, he's got to look at this 1 ball, 7 ball is a little bit impeding his vision and his cueing, so he's got to be a little bit careful with that. And after potting this one, he's got to try and go 2 rails and land in that gap with the red 3 ball and the pink 4. It's a job well done from Oliver. Nicely played.
Yeah, 24 years of age, as I was saying. He's been around a while. One of these guys who's established his reputation on the Euro Tour, getting into a lot of last 16s, a few quarter-finals. And the semi-finals in Klagenfurt as long ago as 2018. He was beaten by the eventual winner, Mario He. But it was really last year, wasn't it, that we saw him shine on the world stage consistently for the first time. Knocked Shane Van Boening out of the World Championship. Followed that up with a win over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and only lost 11-9 to Omar Al-Shaheen in the semis. He twice got within a match of the last 16 at the US Open, first in the regular side and then on the loser side. Won a big tournament in South Carolina in October. And was also in the quarterfinals of the US Straight Pool Championship. Soon after that, beat Shane Van Boening again along the way. So a wonderful year last year. But that was not a wonderful shot, Carl.
No, they're not going to slide in anymore. And they shouldn't, to be honest. You shouldn't be hitting the rail there, and they should never go in on any 9-ball pool table, let's be honest.
Despite that bad miss on the 2-ball we were talking about, Jason Shaw has taken the 3rd rack, so he now trails Francisco Sanchez Ruiz 2-1.
Yapp might go rail first. And he doesn't want the cue ball to be landing on the right side rail, so he's got to get the cue ball away from there. And if he does go rail first, it can be somewhat harder to judge because it's all about the speed. Oh, this looks good. This looks real good. Such a good run at the US Open 9-ball championships last year in Atlantic City, where unfortunately for him he lost out to Carlo Biardo, but the whole week he played some real good stuff. He actually beat the defending US Open champion Joshua Filler.
He beat Van Boening as well. And he was in a strong position in the final, and it all turned, didn't it, on a 9-ball that he missed that would have put him almost unassailably in front. And that proved to be such a turning point. Carlo Biardo turned it round to win. Became the first winner from the Philippines since Efren Reyes, no less.
Just got to give this shot a little bit more respect. Just a little stop shot, maybe even draw it back a couple of inches.
Well, encouraging signs early on from Aloysius Yapp. As you said, Carl, that was a bit of a tester on the 8. Came through it, and then a simple 9 to finish. So Aloysius Yapp leads Oliver Szolnoki 2-0. See what's happening on the other side of the arena. I told you Jason Shaw had pulled back to 2-1 down against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. What a turnaround it was for the man from Spain yesterday. Lost all 3 on Monday, won all 3 on Tuesday. And if he can add a win over Jason Shaw to that, he'll be starting to feel very confident of still being around for the next phase over the weekend.
Yeah, he played his good friend in the opening match of his campaign, David Alcaide, so that was never going to be easy.
Yeah, lost 5-0. Still the only whitewash we've seen. I think that one might have dropped on a normal table. These tighter pockets, for me, have added a whole extra dimension and really improved the spectacle.
Yeah, they're just about right for 9-ball pool. You know, they're not super tight still. You can still play the game of pool on them. But it just means you've got to be a little bit more accurate.
In favor of Mr. Yapp.
I think the people who don't play the game with the more generous pockets, shall we say, it almost looked as though it was a lot easier than it really is. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I've had that for years, Michael. I've had a lot of my friends back home in Blackpool. Oh, that game with the big pockets, yeah. Then they've come round to my house for a few bevies and a game of pool on a Saturday night. And when they're leaving, they've not managed to run a rack all night. And they go, oh, it's a lot harder than I thought, that game.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? When you watch people at the highest level, they always make it look so much easier than it really is. Now, Carl, I'm going to leave you for a moment in the very capable hands of Mr. Skylar Woodward. He's going to sit in for a little while.
Well, this will be an interesting little chat with Skylar. Just putting his headset on. We'll get into a deep chat when he's sorted his action out here. Skylar, welcome to the booth. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Now that I got that match over with.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. I'm sure we're going to show a few little clips. So Oliver Szolnoki is going to try and chop this one ball into the left centre, queuing off the rail.
10 seconds.
Oh, he needed to miss the 7 ball there. Skylar, you've played on these tables. Can he cut the 2 in?
I mean, yeah, you can cut the 2 in. I think he's going to thin it. I think go try to stay above the 3, come below the 9, go 2 rails. But I believe you can cut this ball in. I don't think it was an awful shot either to go ahead and try to cut it in.
Yeah, that's a shot that I've seen you play a lot over the years. You like cutting them thin balls in, don't you?
Yeah, well, it was a little thinner than I thought from that view, but yeah, I do. I like cutting them down the rail. I have a little system.
Extension, please.
Tell me the little system?
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
Just aim at the pocket.
That's the system. Aim at the pocket. This is a little thin one as well, full length of the table.
No, I just look at the rail, honestly. If I'm cutting a ball real thin, I just look at the rail, not the ball.
You just look at the rail. I'm going to try and get a bit of inside info on the practice table at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll give you that much info. I'll just tell you that.
I was always terrible at that shot, to be fair. I don't think I used to make any of them. I used to always hit it dead fat or miss it altogether. I needed you in the corner, I think. Oliver Szolnoki played a pretty tidy shot there. Yet to win a rack in this match. Not been the best of events for him so far. Just looking to see where he wants the cue ball, because he's got to get from the purple 5 up towards the green 6.
Doesn't want to get too thin on it, I wouldn't think. looks good. He can draw out of it. 2 rails. I don't know. I don't think follow works because the table still plays a little slick. So I don't know if he can get above the side still. You'd have to really like smooth it to get 3 rails. But yeah, he's going 2.
Well, he's going to be happy with that. That was a good shot. Quick update on table number 2. Sanchez Ruiz is at the table. That match is tied at 2-2. You can watch that on matchroom.live. Why not put table 1 on your TV? Table 2 on your iPad.
Got a little out of line. Nice on the 6, but a little out of line from the 6 to the 7. But just has to make this ball. 9's laying nice.
Extension, please.
So he took his extension, and rightly so. He just wants to bear down on this. Cue ball's a little close to the rail. But he knows as long as he pots this 7, he's won the rack. Nicely done. This is a big match for both players. It's going to be a big point. And it's Szolnoki who takes rack number 3. He trails Yapp 2 racks to 1. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to this year's
Rack
Predator
number 4.
Premier League
Our
pool.
current score is 2 to
16
1
players
in favor of Mr. Yapp.
started out.
Mr.
The top
Szolnoki.
10 will qualify. The bottom 6 will be out. Kelly Fisher is the only lady player representing the female pool players across the globe, and she's doing well. She's mixing it up. Oliver Szolnoki gets the 4th rack underway, electing to play the cook break, and that is not too bad.
The breaks have been funny. You make the wing ball a couple times, and then next thing the wing ball doesn't go, but the ball's still spread.
Yeah, you actually you made a good run out in the last rack. They weren't easy, was they? It was a tricky little layout you was faced with.
Yeah, I come short on the 2. You know, if I got past the 2, I could still shoot it in the corner. But I was trying to get in the side, and I just didn't get far enough for the side. I underdrew it a little, but I was also scared of getting behind, overdrawing and getting behind the 7-8. So, but got far enough for a shot at least.
This is a very good shot indeed. Uses the second rail, and that just comes beautiful on the 2 ball. Couldn't put that better with your hand. Talk to us about the pocket scale. I know obviously you've played on 4-inch pockets and things like that, but you know, in England, you know, we're used to watching snooker on a super tight pocket, and we've always felt the pockets on a 9-ball table were too big. Obviously you're from America, you've grown up with a different look of the game. Try and give us a little bit of insight on your thoughts of the bigger pockets as opposed to the 4-inch pockets that it looks like Matchroom are now going to use on all their events.
Yeah, you know, I really enjoy the 4-inch pockets. It makes me bear down a little harder, but you know, growing up on just like a regular 9-foot table with like a gold crown, is what I grew up on. So a little bit bigger pockets, but it was it's definitely different to play on tight pockets now. But it's I like it a lot more, and I think it's better for the top players to play on tight pockets, because if you still play on big pockets, you really never see any misses or any drama. But if you like the tight pockets now, you see some missed balls that you normally wouldn't see because people are still taking them, you know, for granted. But I think the tight pockets is where it's at now for sure.
And I'm guessing you've spoke to Shane a little bit about it. What's his kind of view on it? Has he got a similar stance as you?
You know, we've never really talked about the tight pockets. It was weird, like there was a couple years in a row, the Moscone Cup, he's like, man, we need big pockets. And then, or the first year, he's like, we need tight pockets. And then the next year he said, man, actually, we need like big pockets. I'm like, what do you think we need, man?
Like you mind,
yeah.
You?
But I think the tight pockets is definitely where it's at.
What did he say last year with him being vice captain? Was it big pockets, small pockets?
4
4 pockets, 2 pockets?
Well, if we go back and look at it now, let's just say we would have taken the big pockets, then we might have won, because we lost with tight pockets. So let's change it to big pockets and go back.
Szolnoki's got this 9. He's took a good rack out here. This is to tie the match up.
Tell me your honest opinion. Was it still a foul or not a foul? I don't care either way. I'm not mad. I just want to know if it was a foul or not for real. But personally, I never, from seeing it out there, zoomed in and stuff, I still didn't think it was a foul.
Yeah, I'm the same. Certainly from that angle, you could clearly see your cue didn't touch the 7. Unfortunately, John's refereeing, so he's not seen that clip yet. But we're going to show him. I'm going to keep showing. I always rib John. I like to give him a little bit of stick. So this is more stick. I'm going to.
You know.
It's all light-hearted fun at the end of the day. Luckily for you, Skyler, you managed to win the match, and obviously it's a group format. It's not like it was the world final. He's cost you 50 grand. Let's be honest. And you might be a little mad at him, right?
Yeah, you know, and probably would have argued a little more instead of just letting it go right away.
The only thing is, I said this to Phil during the break when we were commentating on the match. If you was kicking out of a situation and you hit 2 balls simultaneously, they would go back to the replay, wouldn't they, and have a look, but they never seem to do that in that situation, but I'm sure it's something that you could do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I'd have asked, you know, probably would have, but I mean, he's the ref. I trusted him to make the right call, but from the views, I guess I was right at first. It wasn't a foul, I don't think, still.
You're too easy going, man. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Get up there, get in his face, tell him you're wrong, John. Come on. Should be like ice hockey, you and John Lehman fighting in the arena, throwing a few fists at each other.
Yeah. You should have gotten a full blow out there, huh?
I think I fancy John in that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, probably he's still got the mullet. I don't.
Yeah, always back the mullet. So this is an interesting shot. Is he going to play for the combo? Or is he going to risk trying to get him behind it?
10 seconds.
He's playing for the combo. He's got to watch the left centre. This looks like it's going to hold up nice.
Yeah, it looks like good speed. Couldn't really get any straighter on the combo.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's done well, really. It's not often you play that shot and land pretty much perfect. I think he's going to tee the 6 up for the other corner, so the bottom right. Yeah, just use the rail, bounces out nicely. So this looks like a good chance now. He's done the hard work. Over on table number 2. Sanchez Ruiz is at the table. He's got 4 balls left. There you see he's on the 6th ball. He's 4-2 up against Shaw. Started off not too good in the event. Sanchez lost his opening 3 matches, but since then he's found his game, and this will be a big win. Yapp's just lost the cue ball a little bit, so he's got to be a little bit careful. He can pot the 7 and maybe bump into the 9 if he wanted. I don't know if he can draw out and miss the 9, but he's got a couple of options. Both tables just got the 2 balls left, but it's Sanchez who looks like he's going to get this rack and match done. Yeah, he's got this simple 9 ball for a 5-2 win. And there it is.
10 seconds.
So Yapp draws off the 9, and that's going to work out nice. It's probably a little thinner than that camera angle tells you, but it should still be okay. About it, Oliver Szolnoki, he's breaking. Trails Yapp 3 racks to 2. Up next on table number 2, following Sanchez's win over Shaw,
In favor of Mr. Yapp.
Omar Al Shaheen
Mr.
and Max
Szolnoki.
Lechner. Max is yet to win a match in this year's event. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think he's had 3 or 4 hill matches also.
Yeah, he's had a few close matches and he's had chances. It's not like it's just been all bad luck and the pool gods against him. He's missed the last 6 ball against Kelly Fisher. It's just not been his week. Szolnoki's been breaking good. I think every break he's had an open look at the lowest ball, and he's had generous splits, and this is another one. This is a real nice opportunity to tie the match up.
Yeah, for sure. You would like to have this rack hill every time.
I'd probably still find a way of messing these up, pal.
Yeah, we seen you come back and play World Cup pool. Yeah, you wouldn't mess these up.
Cheers, buddy.
YouTube keeps you in stroke.
YouTube keeps you in stroke.
Yeah.
Have you seen the size of my pockets on my table for my YouTube channel?
Are they big?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely huge, and I thought, well, there's no point in me shimming them up, is there? I might as well just leave them like that. Makes me look a little better.
Yeah, you miss less that way. You need to get out here and play these 4-inch pockets.
No, I don't. I definitely don't need to go out there. I'm safe in here. I can just like rib all you players out there and just sit and say, how did he miss that? I'm just looking at the sheet, just seeing who Skylar's got next. Oh, doesn't get any easier. You've got the rest of the afternoon off, and you're coming back tonight. You'll be playing on table 1, second match against your old Moscone Cup rival, Joshua Filler. You like playing Joshua, don't you?
Yeah, you know, it's always fun playing the best players, which is the whole event really. But like playing him's a little different because the Moscone Cup, and it's same. It's a race to 5 and stuff. But yeah, I enjoy playing him because he's, you know, won a whole lot of tournaments and top player in the world. So yeah, I really enjoy playing him. It's always a tough game, no matter what.
Just the 2 matches today for Skylar. He's got a nice easy day at the office. He's loving life. Just like Oliver Szolnoki is. He's loving life in this match. He's got this 9-ball to tie it up. Kind of expected a close match in this one.
Yeah, you know, Yapp struggled a little bit in this event also. Off to a rough start. I know he showed up late, so probably a little jet lag and stuff, but seems like he's playing good, but just still not getting there. That shows you how tough the competition is and the race to 5, what it will do to you.
Yeah, it is a tough competition. This match is nicely poised. It's 3-3.
Oliver Szolnoki, and in particular, Aloysius Yapp in real need of a win here. And it's heading down to a very close finish to decide who gets it.
7.
Yapp, only 1 win out of 8 so far. Level at 3-all as he breaks off in rack 7.
Yapp to break.
Well, he needed to start breaking better than he did in his match earlier today against Naoyuki Oi. And he has at least done that in this match. But that hasn't turned out ideally. Unless there is a gap through to that 2, Carl. Looks very tight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he could probably see a little bit of the 2. He can't get through to the potting angle. And you just heard John Lame, the referee, shout push, so the push shot, if you're new to watching Nineball, after the break shot,
Szolnoki, your option?
you have always got the option of playing a push out. So that allows you to either do what Yapp's just done, just touch the white, you can pot another ball, you can even pot the 9-ball. The 9-ball would come back out on its spot. But what you've got to bear in mind is, like, now Oliver's looking at the options. If he doesn't like it, he can put Yapp back in. So the principle being, Yapp would never roll up right behind the 6-ball and leave the cue ball tight, because Oliver would just go carry on, pal. So it's like a little game of chess.
Just starting on the other table, Omar Al-Shaheen, only 2 wins from his 7 matches so far against Max Lechner, who's lost all 8 that he's played. And Al-Shaheen is just 2 routine pots away from winning the opener there.
Extension, please.
Over the years, I've heard a few players talk about getting rid of the push shot, but I think they need to go and see a doctor. I'm not convinced with that. Don't know what they're thinking with that. I like the push out. Adds a little bit of a different dimension to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always fascinating to anticipate what the player is going to do. And then once he has made his decision and played the shot, to try to figure out what the psychology is behind the decision that's been made. So I think that would be a real loss to the game.
Yeah, we've seen Oliver look at all
Attention,
options.
please.
Doesn't fancy it. I mean, of course, he probably knows what Yapp's up to. Jumping this over to cut the 2 in and land on the 3. Your percentages are a lot lower than this going wrong, so I'm sure if you let us shoot this shot 100 times, you're going to come out best. So the odds are in favour of Oliver here. Obviously we can't account for stuff like that. That's just part of the game. But if you played that shot 100 times, you're definitely going to be more favourable in Oliver's shoes. This time, unfortunately, he's fluked the 3, and look at that.
Well, he's got a chance at the 2 as well, and they're sitting pretty nicely here. When you're struggling, you can do with a little bit of good fortune to help you turn things around.
There's also been debates about the call shot aspect of pool. That would mean Yapp would be trying to pot the 2 in that corner, and if he didn't, it would be loss of turn. That's also a debate that's been going around for years.
Can't say I'd be in favour of that, Carl. What do you think?
Well, I think it's actually a good question for me to ask you, Michael, because obviously I'm a player. I'm probably looking at it from different aspects, but someone like yourself who is not a player and
Not a good player, anyway.
not a good player. No, obviously you commentate. You're looking at it like a different aspect. So I'm going to ask you the question.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'd definitely leave things as they are. You're talking basically in terms of having to nominate your pocket that you would be attempting to pot into, and only potting into that pocket can be valid. Well, no, I think keep it as it is. Again, brings another little dimension to it. And we were talking about this in one of the earlier matches, actually. I don't necessarily subscribe to the view that luck evens itself out over time, because that's not a very scientific approach to take. But it does to some extent, because clearly there are times when you'll benefit from those bits of good fortune and times when your opponent will. So I don't see any reason to take that away. And I think it can lead to interesting things happening in matches that wouldn't otherwise. So I'm happy enough to keep that as it is. And Aloysius Yapp will be happy enough with how this rack is proceeding. Desperate for a win. And he's heading for the hill.
Yeah, also, going back to what you're saying, I think the reason why pool players have come up with these crazy ideas over the years is because of the bad beats they've had. And we've not had a lot of pool tournaments to go at over the years. Certainly good quality pool tournaments. So I think as long as there's plenty of pool tournaments and plenty of dollars to win, it's going to be easier to handle.
Yeah, and also maybe a bit too much time between matches to come up with ideas. But yeah, these are all interesting discussions to have. Here's what's going on next door. Max Lechner having an absolute shocker here. He's played 8 matches, lost them all. Hill finish earlier against Skylar Woodward. And just desperate to find a win from somewhere. And it's getting pretty close now to the stage for Lechner where it might become impossible for him to get through. As it is now, he needs a minor miracle, really. The general perception is that it's going to take 5 wins to get through. Well, he's only got 7 matches left to find all of those 5. But many more defeats, and really he's getting to the point of knowing he's going out. One thing we should say about that, the prize money is different for every player. So even if you are eliminated, there is a difference between finishing, say, 16th and 14th. It's not a massive prize money differential, but you might as well try to get it. And of course, nobody wants to finish bottom. Definitely nobody wants to finish losing every single match. So he wouldn't be without incentive even if he does get to that stage. He's trying to level at 1-1 there now.
4-3.
So Oliver Szolnoki breaking at 4-3 down.
Mr. Szolnoki to break.
Right, Michael, I'm going to give you a little test here because our viewers don't know you've got a little hidden talent.
Oh, no.
Right, so I'm going to test you, yeah?
Is this the dates thing?
It's a dates thing.
No,
Michael's got an unbelievable talent where, well, we're going to just put it to the test now. I'm going to test you live on air. Aloysius Yapp was born on the 2nd of May, 1996.
Yeah.
What day was that?
That was a Thursday.
Incredible. I've already Googled it. I've got it ready. It was a Thursday. Michael, what is it? How has this come about, this crazy talent you've got?
Well, I mean, till I was about 15 or 16, I actually thought everyone could do it. I didn't realise it was anything unusual, and I still didn't. It was actually our colleague Phil Yates who sort of popularised this, and once he heard about it, he was telling pretty much everyone we know, and yeah, he just, after all these years, is still endlessly fascinated by it. It's one of these things. Honestly, it's like you know, I look at the way you would play pool and think that's absolutely amazing, but to you, it probably doesn't seem that way.
No, because there's more of me who look at pool and sort of see what I'm seeing, but you're the only person I've ever met who can literally tell you what day.
There are a few others out there, believe me, a few others.
There's a few others like you.
Oh yeah, plenty of them.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Anyway, back to more serious matters. And I was saying Oliver Szolnoki in real need of a win, not entirely because of his situation, because he has got 3 wins out of 7, which is by no means disastrous in terms of getting through to the next phase, but because of the fact that he's lost 4 of his last 5, and the early momentum has slipped away a bit. Now, he did restore some of it with his win over Naoyuki Oi last night. But if he was to lose to a player who's been struggling, like Yapp, could be back to square one in the confidence stakes. Omar Al-Shaheen, another player in need of a win. He's now 2-0 up against Max Lechner, who needs one more than anybody.
This match, you always felt like it was going to go close. You always felt like it was going to be 5-3, 5-4 either way, and it's not disappointed.
We've had a few hills already this morning. Looks long odds on we're going to have another one here. Szolnoki has played 7 matches so far in this Predator Premier League. None of them has gone the full distance.
Yeah, he's taking his time, using all of the shot clock. He knows the importance of this rack and the next, and he's overdrawn this. He's overdrawn it by that much. He's going to be shooting the 9 in the top left pocket. He wanted to play it in the bottom left. Adrenaline's kicked in, and he's been a little bit fortunate.
Well, we've seen it with the tighter pockets over the last 2 and a bit days. Anything from distance is where you really see that come to the fore. That added difficulty.
Yeah, the fact that he was playing for the 9 in the bottom left, and he's overdrawn that by about 3 feet. He's been fortunate the cue ball's not on the rail, and he's dead straight. Just got to stay still.
And at the 8th time of asking, Szolnoki is finally going to be involved in a hill finish. But it will be Aloysius Yapp who has the break. Let's have a look at the implications of it all. You can see there, Aloysius Yapp only 1 win out of 8. So if he